Hey, Shalom Israel Shalom. First and foremost, all praise, glory, highest honor, thanks unto Abba Yahweh, Ba'asham Yashai, Ba'asham, Haruk HaKadosh, double honors to else apostles, your best taught me is truth. Peace and taste select out there. Khan, that's the brother Gabar from the Grammars in Germany camp. Come back at you from your lesson, okay? And today's lesson will be about the topic that you have to get ready to be defamed, okay, for this truth. That you have to be ready to get your name basically dragged through the mud for this truth. Like Yahushai did. Or like how they did to Yahushai. Like they did to the other apostles. The prophets. Okay? Because it says in Matthew chapter 5 verse 11. Blessed are ye, when men shall revile you, and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. You see? And when we go into the word revile in the blue letter, it says G3679, to reproach, upbraid, revile. Okay, the Strong's definition. To defame, for example, rail at, chide, taunt, cast in teeth, suffer, reproach, upbraid. You see? So defame you. So they're lying about your name, saying you're doing things that you don't do. Verse 12. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. You see? That's what they did to the prophets before us. This is what they're doing to us now. This is what they did to our Messiah. Alright? This is what the world been doing unto the man of the Lord. Okay? Because they don't see like we see. Because we got one verse that really shows that. Like, let me read it. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 2. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation so far beyond that they looked for. Because they don't see like we see. They don't have the spiritual discernment. They don't have spiritual eyes. They don't see nothing. That's why they will be amazed. These 2/3 and these heathens. Okay? But there it is that we, who are of the Heavenly Father, are not amazed. And will see for what these people are worth. Okay? We look right through them. We know what these people are about. We know what they're thinking. We know what they're doing. Alright? And that's the thing, man. You gotta be ready to be defamed. To get the salvation. To walk into the kingdom of heaven. You gotta get ready, man. Because when we go to the etymology of the word defamed, it says what? Defame. Speak evil of. Maliciously speak or write what injures the reputation of. You see, injure or reputation. So mess with your like I said, mess with your with your report, okay? Can't. To spread abroad by ill report, make a scandal of. You see? And this is what they've been doing. What they said at the beginning about the Christians. For example, back in the day in the Roman times, if I'm not mistaken, Roman or Greek time, Roman times, that they eat humans and such things, okay? But also what they did unto the apostles, okay? And the disciples. And Yahushai, man. So being defamed is nothing new. We just got to be ready for it. 1 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 12. And labor and working with our own hands, being reviled, you see? So being defamed, we bless. Being persecuted, we suffer it. You see, we got to go through it. Being defamed, we entreat. We are made as the filth of the world and are the offspring, as like an scoring of all things unto this day. You see, I read the NLT, it says what? We appeal gently when evil things are said about us, yet we are treated like the world's garbage, like everybody's trash, right up to the present moment. You see? And that's beautiful. You know why that's beautiful? Because as Yahushua said, man, they have hated you, they have hated me, they will hate you. And it also shows us, James chapter 4 verse 4, friendship with the world is enmity with the Heavenly Father. Okay? And friendship with the Heavenly Father is enmity with the world. Because they're polar opposites. Because the Heavenly Father made it so. Jeremiah chapter 20, starting verse 7. And it says, O Lord, thou hast deceived me, and I was deceived. Thou art stronger than I, and hast prevailed. I am in derision daily. Everyone mocketh me. You see? And this doesn't mean that the Heavenly Father is a liar. No. Because when we read more, we get the understanding. For since I spake, I cried out. I cried violence and spoil. Because the word of the Lord was made a reproach unto me, and a derision daily. Then I said, I will not make mention of him, nor speak any more in his name. But his word was in mine heart as a burning fire, shut up in my bones. And I was weary with forbearing, and I could not stay. You see? This is the prophet Jeremiah saying, hey, I was made a laughing stock. Okay, because I was preaching the word. Because I was teaching the word. Because I told the people about death, violence, destruction coming. And then I stopped. I wanted to stop. But the truth came burning out of me. My spirit was burning and saying, I gotta preach this word. For I heard the defaming of many. You see? Fear on every side. Reports, say they, and we will report it. All my familiars watched for my halting, saying, peradventure he will be enticed, and we shall prevail against him, and we shall take our revenge on him. Okay? Let's read in the LT verse 10. I've heard the many rumors about me. They call me the man who lives in terror. They threaten, if you say anything, we will report it. Even my old friends are watching me, waiting for a fatal slip. He will trap himself, then they say, and then we will get our revenge on him. You see? And that's really hitting the nail on the head with what's going on, man. You see, Jeremiah got defamed, got a bad report, his name was slandered because he was preaching the word. And then what beautifully happened? You see, of course, that's not beautifully because he wanted to stop, but his spirit was so beautiful, it was burned inside him, so he couldn't even stop. So he kept on going, kept on preaching and teaching. Don't caring what the people saying, because these people don't matter. Because in the end, when you stand in front of the Heavenly Father, these people won't save you. They won't give a fuck about you. They will be fucked even more than you. Because you got a chance right now to get back in good grace with the Heavenly Father. Getting back in good grace with the Heavenly Father. Not like these people. Because they forsook it, man. And they reap what they have sown. So you holding on to life. And they on to death. Come. This book of Luke, chapter 6, verse 22, and it says, Blessed are ye, when men shall hate you, and when they shall separate you from their company, and shall reproach you, and cast out your name as evil for the Son of Man's sake. You see? Not because you're a piece of shit, no, because you preach and teach His word. For that, a lot of people will forsake you. Okay? The brother or head of the camp, Jacob, and the brother Tazawa from GMS Germany camp, for example, in my camp, man, they can attest to it. They went through it. Okay? A lot of family members, turned their backs to them. But what happened eventually in the end? They all came back, first off. And second off, they did not stop. They did not stop them. Because they read the scriptures. Okay? And that's very important in those situations. To go and seek the Archium. To go and seek the scriptures. Okay? Because the scriptures give you what? Stability, halt. Okay. Strength. Verse 23. Rejoice ye in the day, and leap for joy, for behold, your reward is great in heaven. For in the like manner did their fathers unto the prophets. You see? So rejoice. Like the, apostles rejoice when they got beat up for Yahushua's sake, man. The same we gotta do. Because as they did to the apostles, as they did to Yahushua, they will do unto us, man. We will not go, do this life without that. There's a necessary step. Because, it separates us from the world, man. It shows us the world is worth nothing. John chapter 15, verse 18, and it says, if the world hates you, know ye that it hated me before it hated you. If ye were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will persecute you also. It's like they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. You see? But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. You see? They don't know the Heavenly Father. They claim to know the Heavenly Father, but through their actions they show that they don't. They show that they don't know the Messiah for crucifying him. With their deeds, they show that they don't know the scriptures. Because the scriptures clearly tell us who they are for. The scriptures clearly tell us who they are not for. Okay? The scriptures clearly point to who's who. Who's Jacob? Who's Esau? Who's Amalek? Okay? Who's Ishmael? Who's Elam? But these people don't want to see it. Because they are of the wicked. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 14, and it says, if ye be reproached for the name of Hamashiach, happy are ye, for the spirit of glory and of Yahweh resteth upon you. On their part he is evil spoken of, but on your part he is glorified. You see, as I said, polar opposites. We perceive the Heavenly Father as just and good. They perceive him as wicked and evil. But let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in another man's matter. You see? And it says, don't, suffer for wickedness, because murder is wicked. Okay? A kill is something that happens, but a murder is like premeditated. That's wicked. You shouldn't steal. And don't be an evildoer. Don't sleep with another man's wife. For example, don't be a busybody. Don't be in every man's business, man. Worry about yourself and about the scriptures and about the Akim. Verse 16. Yet if any man suffer as a Christian, so follower of Hamashiach, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify Yahweh on this behalf. You see? Khan. One chapter back, this book of 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 10, and it says, for he that will love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil, and his lips, that they speak no guile. Or was it 16? Salakia? Salakia is verse 16. I wrote it down wrong. Salakia. My bad. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 16. Having a good conscience, that whereas they speak evil of you, as of evildoers, they may be ashamed that falsely accuse your good conversation in Hamashiach. You see? They will draw us in one pot with the evildoers. Look what they did to Yahushua, man. The cross is what? This is where they put on the thieves, man. The criminals. It was a criminal's death, the cross. Okay? And this way they put Yahushua upon. So, man, as they said, he is a criminal, they will say the same as upon us, as we just read, okay? Come. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 4, verse 20, and it says, observe the opportunity and be aware of evil, and be not ashamed when the concern of thy soul. For there is a shame that bringeth sin, and there is a shame which is glory in grace. You see? And when we go into the word shame, it says what? Shame. Painful feeling of guilt or disgrace, confusion caused by shame, state of being in disgrace, dishonor, insult, loss of esteem or reputation, shameful circumstances, what brings disgrace, modesty, you see, but love of esteem and reputation, you see. So the glory of the Heavenly Father brings you loss of, reputation. Why? Because the people see your light and they're afraid of the light. They're scared of it. So they try to dim it. But don't let them dim your light. Verse 28, jumping down. Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. You see? Never forsake this truth. Strive for it until death. The Heavenly Father will be with thee. Sirach chapter 2 verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thyself for temptation. And temptation is also, getting defamed, getting your name spoken ill of, because it's tempting you to do what? To forsake the Heavenly Father and go back to the world. Set thy heart, so set thy mind, because the word heart goes back to the Hebrew word lab, which means mind, aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient, when thou art changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. You see, so you got to go through the fire, because it makes us what? Whole again, pure, and just as the Heavenly Father wants us. That's all I got. I hope this was edifying. I want to give once again all praise, glory, highest honor, thanks unto Yahweh Basham Yahushai Basham, Harakakadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of James taught me his truth. Peace, out there, select out there. Till next time, Shalom.